final layers here. An attempt to maybe get a little bit of an advantage here in terms of elevation, pushing forward, branching into the next circle.
Oh, Baller almost took out his build there, which could have been absolutely devastating. Would have dropped him down. No tarp beneath. 28 players remaining. Look for shots. He finds it.
There we go.
There you go. Leon Flares goes down. 26 players remaining. Wolfies gets picked up by Krith. Mongrel up to 56 points. Looking for it, and that's 59 now as he hits the top 25. Player directly next to him on the box, but trying to pop that, and Crew goes down as well. Was in the top 25, but that was the player who was in the second place last time we saw him. You have Windstrike Mayhem, who was within distance. Now you have Airwalks, the Solari player, at 53 points, trying to drop him down. RPG up on the high ground. He follows it right away. Suat gets swatted out of the sky, but Astro SMZ is also making his push for the top as he's picked up his third Elam since we've been watching. Mongo gets another one, picking up Romu as we get closer to the top 15. Airwalks getting some reloads into that combat shotgun, wants to make sure he has every tool available as we push down to the final fight. Airwalks up on the ultimate high ground. ETQ rounding around the storm. Mongo going to challenge on the mid-tarp, and he gets Carrera, and he also gets into the top 15 as we slide on board. The Train H's Alpha puts the trap down, and he gets Astro. Astro knocked out. Could be his World Cup run over there.
26 points thus far for Alpha, but not a big deal. He's still putting on a good show. Shots back behind, finds another player. Cell caught in a box just outside. Rotating forward, 9 players remaining. Scalamo goes down to fall damage to the feed. ETQ eliminated by that combat shotgun, so powerful in these close range fights. Alpha, 6 eliminations, looking for the 7th, pushing through, applying pressure through the wall, does not want the player inside to take the chance to get anything. Mongrel picks up another elimination, then immediately gets eliminated, goes out in 7th place, almost the top 5 for those points, only going to get 5 placement. Could still be big enough to make his way to New York City. We will have to see before too long. Top 5 now. Alpha, 30 builds, a mini opportunity. Anything to heal right now is going to be big. You don't want to be caught by players that may have positioning, and Oldies does in fact have that positioning. A 1v1. Players are basically 1-2 boxes away from each other, and Oldies may take the chance to rotate up out of the storm. We'll see here, stuck against the edge. Airwalks, the ultimate high ground, just waiting. 97 builds for Oldies, but only 1 for Airwalks.
52 to 58 in points. This could end up being the difference. Oldies looks to go for it, and he gets the zone back from Airwalks. He takes away the zone, but Airwalks knocks him down. No fall damage coming through. Can Airwalks find the shot?
No build.
Oldies just keeping the zone in the area, and Oldies gets the victory royale, pushes him up to 55. Airwalks falls at 58 with no builds.
Imagine being Oldies knowing you just eliminated Airwalks from Solary, Mongrel from Secret. You've got to be feeling really good about that game. A big push for points, too. That was, like you said, in the middle of it, a very, very stacked lobby. A lot of pressure, too, because you have a little late. We're trying to push our way through these games because there's so many things happening, but all these lobbies are going to be so intense because everyone is vying for those top 8 positions to qualify to go to New York City.
And that's what it's all about, getting a spot in the FoRtNiTe World Cup final. This is week 9 of the online open qualifiers, the last chance in the solos competition. And if you want to sit on that stage, if you want to be playing with the best of the best, the Bizzles, the Vivids, the T-Fuse, the Dementos, all of those top players on the stage with FaxFox and Vanny, you have to clutch up right now in these final moments and against the best players, because if you're unfamiliar with how the tournament matchmaking works, it's 3 hours, 10 matches, and as you climb in points, you're matched with players close to you in that point range. So the matches only get more difficult, the players only get better, and these are the times, these are the fights you have to win if you want to be playing for your shot at the $30 million.
A quick note, too, if you're watching, this is the final game for Europe. Everything for these players to qualify for solos for New York City, to play for $30 million on a stage bigger than any stage FoRtNiTe has ever seen. This is the last chance for Europe. There are a lot of fans out there of a lot of these players. Do me a favor. Go on Twitter. Tag your favorite players and show them some love. Keep the negativity out of this. Hashtag FoRtNiTe World Cup, because FoRtNiTe has done something that not many people ever thought would happen. They've put a focus on every player that has played out of their minds. And I want to be sure that all these people that have played, have qualified, have tried their heart out, they need to know that you're supporting the heck out of them. So again, hashtag FoRtNiTe World Cup. Please let your favorite players know that they've done an excellent job. Win or lose, doesn't matter how many eliminations. All these people have a lot of heart. It's important that they know that.
Indeed, a lot of heart coming out from all of these players. It's so incredibly hard to get.
I laugh as you say, but honestly, what a perfect name to see pop up. All that being said, no mercy this week.
Weigh-in picks up it. He says no mercy this week. Indeed, it's all about those last spots, trying to find the Shadow Bomb player as he rotates through, getting the shots going off here. And this is what it's all about. Storm Surge is on for 3 more players. Weigh-in pushing forward. Lacey Sher gets fast and then gets traded.
Thanks for showing this. I can't watch this on my PC, so thanks for streaming it.
In 5 more players. Black Sue over there in the mid tarp, gonna hop on board with him, sitting on 46 points right now. Going to need a monstrous performance if he wants to top off. We see a number of players pushing up towards that 60 range. Don't forget, 8 spots coming out of Europe, top 25, the first placement threshold, and Blacks is in a good spot to hit it with the 4 Shadow Bombs, using the first one now.
The stream's got to be feeling good about how their players playing thus far. Black Sue and Skype both excellent thus far. Potentially see Vato at some point. We'll have to find out. 28 players, 26, 25. What a quick shift in player count. Points going out. 3 for everybody left on the board. Down to 22 already. This rotation has been lethal for so many. Such a big shift. Down to 21 now. Chip goes down. 20. Every time I feel like I say it, we're about to see 19. There's another elimination. The Toxic Donut removed from the game. Black Sue pushing forward here, 2 eliminations. Don't want to get caught by someone boxing up, as we've seen so many times in the past. Trying to maybe land somewhere inside a box with a launch pad. Going to move forward with the Storm. Excellent position now. Has a chance to kind of wait and peek back behind. Someone is up above. He's got to be careful there. That edit going to jump up and move on through to the next section of this circle. Still not stopped. We're very close. You look at the mini-map, the blue and white crossover.
But Blackso trying to push the envelope and get every elim anyway. Will he be able to find it? He hits the shot, gets the siphon onto Purge. All of a sudden, Blackso has single-handedly fragged his way into the top 5. 57 points, but we've seen more. He needs to keep pushing. This is the last match on the server. This is the top 5. Frenzy, Nate, Screaky, Masato, and Blackso will be closing out the European region. Blackso right now extending the time route on the Shadow Bomb. He's in your bottom right. He drops down. Nate gets taken out by Masato. Frenzy begins to work. Top down. Takes 55 fall damage. Blackso pushes in. Him and Masato in the same box. Masato disengages around the side. Blackso desperately trying to find the shot. Needs everything he can. Top 4. Screaky goes down as Masato finds it. Frenzy continues working from the top down, but Blackso needs the space. No builds left on Frenzy. 47 points for him, 57 for Blackso. This is his chance. Can he get Lestream to the World Cup final? He's looking for it. He finds the first shot. 88. Can he convert? No. Frenzy picks up the elim, but he finds the 30 right after. Needs the elim and the victory royale. 461. But can it be enough? And can he close it out? He's looking for the shots. 49 shield, 85 health, no builds from the low ground player. Frenzy gets cleaned up. 61 for Lestream's Blackso. But will it be enough? Courage, will it be enough?
We will find out, folks. 5 weeks of solo competition have led to this moment in Europe. The queues are done, and now it is time to find out who exactly has made it on through to the FoRtNiTe World Cup Finals. Who will take up those final spots from the European region?
I think it's time to take a look.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
First off, congratulations to Andretta, who throughout the entire day was in that top spot. Crew, Skite, Light, Mongrel has made it on in, was what, Everyone was wondering if he was going to do it.
Yep.
People had high expectations. He clutches in the end. Mku, Teak, and who did we just see in that last game?
There you go, man. Blacksu, he makes it in for Lestream. That's huge for the French-speaking community because we saw Solary already go through, and Lestream kept getting edged out every week, but now it's Blacksu's time to shine. Really quick, though, Andretta. So you talked about this guy's been on fire all day long.
Yeah.
We actually kind of pulled stats on his previous week qualifiers. For the previous solo weeks, 291th place, 127, 218, 610, and now first all day long. Went from like 50 viewers on Twitch to like 20,000. Send Andretta some love. All his hard work has truly paid off. These are the 8 that are coming through, Courage.
Congratulations to them. I think there's one more thing we can do. It's time to punch their ticket. Zeke.
I'll start over here.
Start over there.
Boop. There you go.
Andretta made it. Crew made it. Let's hit the middle one. Skite made it.
There you go.
Light. Mongrel. Congratulations again, brother. In the middle. Mku. And finally, Teak. And wait.
There you go.
Blacksu as well.
There you go.
The 8 players from Europe who will join Moffin and Rona season, as we saw earlier, making it on in. Incredible stuff. Europe was an insane day today, just as we expected. High-level lobbies, tons of people left all the way to that 5th zone. But here's the beauty of it, folks. We've got more action to bring you. We're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll catch you up to speed on some of the other regions before we kick off the NA East action.
Zeke, this is it. This is the last chance, all right? People need to know about this block party, all right? This is your last opportunity to get them involved, to get them hyped. Zeke, everyone's gonna be there, all right? DJ Zeke's gonna be there. DJ Sundown's gonna be there. Everyone's gonna be there, all right? The people are waiting. All right. You know what, man? I'm DJ Zeke. I don't need no card. But what you need to do is buy your tickets to the block party. Tickets are only $35, FoRtNiTe fam. Listen, all right, June 15th, 16th at the LA Forum. Day 1, Creative Showdown. Listen, all right, Team Evolve built an incredible map. Spoiler alert, it's dope. Day 2, Celebrity Pro-Am. 50 pro gamers, 50 celebrities, all battling out for a $3 million charity prize pool. What more do you want? What more do you need? FoRtNiTe fam, you need to be there because we are ready to party with you. Bam!
Heyo FoRtNiTe fam, Sundown here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the FlintKnock pistol and its impact on competitive play.
The FlintKnock pistol is a great addition. Sometimes it'll just change the course of a fight.
The things you can do is insane. You can get height with it. It shoots pretty far. You can almost use it as an AR at the beginning game just to get one shot. It'll hit for like 80, 90 in the body.
And this is looking really good for Horrify, but the FlintKnock is going to get the high ground. Nikiva, such a smart player.
The FlintKnock is a common and uncommon weapon that uses heavy ammunition. It does 86 or 90 damage depending on rarity, and it has a 2x headshot multiplier. This means that outside of a sniper rifle, it has the highest single shot damage potential in the game. However, the FlintKnock only allows for one shot at a time, has pretty decent damage fall off, and also takes 3 seconds to reload. In addition to all of this, the FlintKnock also has a mobility component to it. When fired, it will impulse the shooter backwards, and if the bullet strikes a target, it will impulse the target away from the shooter. This can allow for some tricky plays to be made. Player there, runs out into the storm, jump, finds him, yeah! We've seen a decent amount of use out of the FlintKnock during the FoRtNiTe World Cup online open qualifiers. So let's hear from some of the qualified players to get their opinion on its addition to the game.
If I'm low on HP and I have to choose one weapon, it will be this one. You can actually like kill someone from 200 HP to 0 without taking any shots.
And it's also really good for competitive play because if you're high ground or if you want to get away from a situation, the FlintKnock, when you use it, it knocks you some distance so you can get away or you can get high ground over someone. I think it just adds a lot of like different plays you can make with it. I think it's good.
I personally really like the FlintKnock. I think it's a really good weapon. I think it's a really, really strong weapon in the right hands. You need to know how to use it, and you need to base your whole game around it if you want to use it right.
It's just the kind of weapon we need more.
I definitely think it's one of the better things that have been added skill-wise. I like that it's so versatile. I really like it competitive. Definitely deserves a spot here.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully you saw how the FoRtNiTe can be utilized in the right hands. What is the best FoRtNiTe play you've done or seen? Share it with us using the hashtag FoRtNiTe World Cup, and we'll be seeing you guys on the battle bus, or maybe FoRtNicing through the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FoRtNiTe World Cup. This is the final week for solo qualifiers, so if you're trying to make your way to New York City to punch that ticket, now's the time to do it. If you miss out, that'll be that. Coming up next, we have Asia and Oceania replays. Those regions have already played out, but before we get to that, I asked a question when I was with Sundown casting the end of Europe, and that was where your favorite drop spot was. And we are lucky enough, because of the magic of Twitter and the production team who is always top-notch, a little social. I want to see what everybody said about everything. I just want to put this out there immediately. My boy Till Truth agreeing that Viking Village up top, one of the best in the game. Disco, Frosty Dusty, Jung Junction when running solos. Unless it's a hot spot, dropping factories by Flush. Racetrack, Lazy Lagoon or the Block. The Block, honestly, we're seeing that more and more. A lot of players are picking that up. Mega Mall. Surprising to me, one of the biggest landing zones on the map right now. We've seen it time and time again being constantly swamped with players. Paradise Palm, Salty Springs again, Pressure Plant, and I believe that is the very southeast corner of the map. Some players call it Westworld. There's all sorts of names for these locations where they don't have a POI name on them. It's kind of interesting to see how creative people can get. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm always curious where people are dropping. As hard as I can to avoid any of those spots. Thanks for telling me where to not go. But I do want to see where Asia and Oceania go. And in order to do that, in order to look at those replays and get a play-by-play of everything happening, I need some players to give me some insight. And those players, in this case, would be Monster D-Face and Zeke.
Thank you, Dr. Lupo. Back
Monster,
at it again, Zeke.
Are you ready?
Ready to rock it.
I believe you are ready. That's why you gave me the fist bump and not Courage JD. FoRtNiTe fam, we hope you guys are ready because it is finals day. We're hopping into some replays from Oceania that happened this morning. We want to get these guys up to speed, have them, share their moment because them qualifying was a big deal. Yeah, absolutely. So let's get ready to hop into these games together. Is there anything you're excited about? You looking forward to, Monster?
I mean, I'm looking forward to just watching all these games unfold. I follow like every competitive player on social media, so to wake up to my peers, kind of happy that they pushed through, or unfortunately, sometimes, you get the other tail end of that, see their errors where things kind of didn't fall in line for them. Because at the end of the day, no performance is perfect. And when you kind of go back and really look at it, a lot of times you spot your own errors. So it's kind of crazy how much FoRtNiTe has developed and evolved and how much more room for perfection there is in this game.
For sure, man. I mean, we can always be getting better, not only in FoRtNiTe, but as humans. And of course, at our ability to eat chicken parmesan, because I will never be able to eat it as incredibly as Courage JD can. 44 players currently.
Graciously.
Yeah, he's voracious with the food. 44 players here at Storm Circle 5. We see this all the time, right, Monster? That was a great pickup of Magsy there in midair. But we see this all the time. Finals day is very different than Saturday's qualification rounds, right? Saturday's semifinals are typically very elimination heavy. Finals, they know what's at stake. They know they have to play conservative, play for points, play for placements, and that's what we're seeing now.
Yeah, it definitely goes without saying that these last days when, you know, everything's on the line, there's just so much more pressure on you to perform that you are going to be more hesitant. But not only that, you have to respect people that are able to make it through to the top 0.01% Sunday for qualification, because at the end of the day, look at how many players don't make it to Sunday. Like, literally, it's not easy to crack out 30, 50 points, 60 points if you're on EU at times, just to make it through. Like, the competition is that stiff. So there's a lot right down the line. If you make it through to Sunday, you got to give yourself a pat in the back, regardless of how you do it, because it's no easy feat. And
Yeah.
if someone makes it look easy, just understand that guy is miles ahead of the competition.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even if you don't qualify, right, there's always going to be events going forward in the future. There's always another opportunity. Just because you didn't make it, it does not mean that it's the end of your FoRtNiTe journey or your FoRtNiTe career, right?
I mean, just like everything in life, it takes a lot of preparation, consistency, but more importantly, one of the factors people don't take for granted is it's the luck factor. You also still need things to click, even in life, and things are clicking right here. Scopes Rebel goes down, nice little shot from Rona season. What we saw did pull through.
Yeah, that's right. Rona, aka Sozman, taking that #1 spot over in OCE. He's already on 4 eliminations, so this is probably his maybe second game, right? Because he has 10 points here, and we're not even top 5, has the 4 eliminations, and he's AR'd. So his game before must have just been his initial game for 6 points total. And now we're hopping in. How are things going to unfold for him? He just hit top 25, so first round of placement points coming out. Don't forget, guys, 15, 5, Victorial. Those are every single threshold, and every elim is a point. So already at 7, I don't know how to do math, just from elims and placement.
Yeah, and if you're new to competitive FoRtNiTe, this is what it looks like at the highest levels of competition when there is money and prize on the line. Not only that, the respect of your peers. People are insane at this game. You might not see Glider redeploy every day in your day-to-day games, but here in the upper levels of competition, they use these kind of items to maximum efficiency, to save materials. So top-tier competitive FoRtNiTe is a very interesting thing to watch and kind of digest. And just kind of from sticking around and studying these guys' play, you can level up your own game.
Especially like the minor differences between different people's play, right? Like, you as a player, you might say, I love Glider redeploy, and that is my go-to item.
Yep.
For me, I might say, look, I value the Shadow Bombs more because it just lends itself to my playstyle and the things I'm looking to do. You know, and especially as FoRtNiTe continues to evolve, new patches come out, new weapons, items, utility, all that. Like, it's just an ever-changing game. To see these guys adapt and just everything in their hands is lethal. It's like, gray AR, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to find 10 elims. Gray tech, doesn't matter, 10 elims. Yeah, exactly.
They make it look so good. Now take a look at Rona, who somehow manages to find some high ground off that Shadow Bomb, doing a really good job at climbing up here. Makes the edit one step ahead of Unknown. Space there, kind of steps out before his counterplay can even happen. Now he is set up. He has a setup shop right here. Who's at the ultimate top? It's Alfie. Alfie firing down, and someone else is just above him. You can see there, it's Brave. I will not lose. He's got the ultimate high here. Alfie says, you know what? I want no part of that. He is coming down into Rona. Let's see what Rona's going to do with these final moments here. He steps into another player's box. 120. Such a tight crosshair to hit these shots. You got to respect the aim here and the consistency, Zeke.
This is what separates Sozman from the rest, right? There's so much confidence behind his play, and this is what I love talking about, because that's what resonates with me, is how confident you are in the moment of things happening, right? Just look at this. Not building. He has 13 builds, so it's not much, but he doesn't need to build. He knows what's going on. He's dictating the tempo of this game, right? Right now, Sozman is on that lowest level. Bray is up above. And now, I mean, Sozman's got 10 elims, all right? This is huge. He's going to try and go against Bray. Now, Bray does have more materials, 35-2, but now they're saying, you know, let's go toe-to-toe. Can Sozman line up the shot? He actually drops down below Monster. This engagement didn't even pan out. Oh.
Is he going to be able to get him? Is he going to be able to break these builds and bring him down to him? You saw Rona season was just trying to stick it all the way through. And Rona season is Sawsman, guys. For those of you guys just tuned in, so these final moments are here are everything. He's looking to get these low ground peaks. He's got the storm in his favor. He's still tracking with it, and he hits every shot, every single peak, every moment, every pixel goes to Rona.
And that's what I kind of talked about, dictating the tempo, right? It was Rona who's telling everyone else in the lobby, this is what we're doing now. Because you saw the player above, they had health advantage, they had shields. Sawsman didn't. He was down to, what, like 50 HP and then pops the slurp. And then that other player was so afraid to fire back because he was like, look, this guy's going to crack me in the face every single time. You can just tell by the way he's moving. He's confident. He sees that win.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, it's so funny that even with the high ground, sometimes you can just tell a good, like, low ground warrior will poise up in such a way that you're like, dude, if I, like, look over, like, he's going to shoot me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just know. So in those final moments, you kind of just knew, man, he was going to get shot. And, you know, hate to see it not be able to clutch up. But on to the next, guys, is FoRtNiTe.
I think that's making me, like, sending me back into my previous FoRtNiTe games where it's
right?
like I want to fight a guy and I'm like, this guy's crazy. Like, why would he do this?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get this guy, and then he just completely demolishes me. I'm like, he is crazy good at FoRtNiTe. That's what was going on. Now look at this, Orange Z here. Great pickup. My goodness, 3 elims just like that. Now keep in mind, he's outside of top 25. So he's got to be a little bit careful here of how he navigates. Again, on the right side of your screen there, you see Sawsman, again, the person who qualified from OCE. His name currently is Rona Season, aka Sawsman, just to make sure you know. But look at this loadout, dude.
It's looking good. One of the underrated things about the minigun is the extreme high fire rate. It might actually have the highest fire rate in the game when it's fully cooked, and because of that, it can really punch through builds, even if you're trying to stay on defense. So if you guys haven't given up the minigun a swirl, I should say, try and pressure someone down when they're in the box with it, and let me know if you pierce through the turbo build, if you get some shots. But don't forget, guys, we're tuning in straight with the OCE games here, which already kind of developed over the evening here at the FoRtNiTe World Cup. Players have already punched their ticket to New York City. This is the last solo opportunity. Next week will be duos, but today it's all about the solo action. You can find yourself in the Big Apple.
Big Apple for a slice of pizza, like Golden Boy likes to say. I don't know why I like to keep perpetuating that, but here we are.
For a slice at 30M.
Yeah, there you go. You know, something really cool about Rona's loadout, look at this. He's actually maxed. We were able to see his mat count there for a little bit. He's completely maxed on everything. He actually has extra metal laying close by. Max rockets with the 12. Completely great AR. Look at this, 650 rounds of small ammunition, 130 slugs, 8 deploys, a single shadow bomb. Sure, you know, he probably wishes he had 6. But this is a loadout you want to make plays with. He's going to send shots over to the player, trying to get in. Lucas is going to get caught out, making a rotation, and that elim puts him in the top 25.
He is there, knocking on the door here, and this is how his journey unfolded to make it through to the FoRtNiTe World Cup. Every opportunity that he has to take someone out, you can see he's singling out players and taking advantage of the positioning, but hopping around the map. These are some other players' journey as well. As we have Ariel here looking for the heavy snipe, finds a weak opportunity in the build. Whoever that is up above him is going to manage to connect the structure, but you know what? Ariel pops a nice little cone up. He's trying to go for it. So he's trying to get a piece of this high ground here. And now he disengages the pursuit, but is still tunneling on by.
That's good though. You know, if you don't have all the information, it's best to not try and go for the play, especially in finals. If this is, you know, semifinals, go for it, right? Like at worst, you're just set back a game, you could re-queue and everything's okay, but in finals, every single interaction does matter. So for Ariel, you know, he could have potentially challenged for that high ground, but it's like, I just kind of use my heavy snipe. I don't have that key to all doors. Let me just get myself to safety, take a moment, reload, gather more information. And because of just that slight pause, look, he's now in top 15. He found an elim, which he was hunting for before. He just finds it in another place. And now he's still just continuing. He picks up a rift to go as well. Heavy snipe gonna be picked up too. So now, I mean, Ariel's in a great spot right now.
Yeah, for sure. That nice little mat replenish there from catching the elim is going to throw him back in the running here to try and see if he can squeak out a victory. Up at the high ground, we have other things unfolding. Kalen goes down to Samurai. Sosman still alive in the mid-tarp, putting down pressure. Squall's in a campfire here. That's a signal to the rest of the lobby that, hey, there's someone weak nearby. Sosman hears the shadow bombs kind of thrown all around him. What's he going to do here? He's just on the hunt. OCE region specifically requires you to get a ton of eliminations if you want to be number one. There's only one spot up for grabs. And there it is, another player nearby. That's all shield ripped off. He's going to push that. Sees a player above him. He does see a player above him.
He's going to try and maybe make something happen. But look, don't forget, he still has every single rocket.
Nice rocket right there.
12 rockets. This payload is about to just destroy builds all the way around. And look, Ariel as well up on the high ground has them. So the first rocket from Ariel comes in, and then Sosman's second finds an elimination. Another rocket from Ariel up on the high ground. And look at this. Down below, they're just desperately trying to keep their builds up, and they're burning through mats. Sosman is now out, and look, he gets challenged from the front, challenged from the right, finds the two players, and he makes this a 1v1, but look at his HP right now. First rocket's gonna come in. How is he gonna pull this off, Monster?
I don't know if he can. He doesn't really have much going for him. Just 24 health.
He picked up 500 metal from 0 to 500. 50 builds. This is huge. If those get fully built off, they're going to absorb an entire rocket and still stay built. But
no way, dude.
This is a tough spot. Oh. That's a tall ask. That's a tall ask.
Really was. 200 HP on Ariel with the RPG as well. He was fully loaded, med kit, minis. He had everything he needed. That was a tough end game for Sosman. But hey, second place is not too shabby in this format. You get you know, a ton of placements, but more importantly, those two eliminations to squeak out, we've seen the difference of 1 point was literally what all these games came down to. So that little flick of the moment, that little, you know, reaction to jump down there and go for it, that's the risk you take, and that's the payout you get.
Now we hop on over. There you go. This is, so don't forget, this is now, we're in Asia replays. You can see at the top right. So these happen again overnight while we were all asleep. I was asleep like a baby. That's not true. I woke up several times. I was mad about it. Moffin XD, though, was the victor coming out of that Asia region.
Yep, and you see there, Moffin finds someone hiding in the cone. Does capitalize on a nice little elimination. Sees the loot back there, but might be a little too far to go scavenge for, so he's just on the hunt still here. As things are poised up outside of the Dusty Divot. Really tough place to battle out of. You never want to find yourself in the center of it. Nice shot right there. As he catches someone who's running right by. These competitive players are so good with the accuracy. Oh, he's trying to play the loot hoarder here, trying to get all the mats and stuff that he did not battle for, and now he's got the storm against his back, and there's no way that man was going to get out of there, because with the 60-second threshold now, the storm can also just reward that elim regardless to Moffin here. And whoa, he jumps into the zone for the desperate materials. Didn't even rift out. Ouch, it's going to cost him like 70 health there, Zeke.
That's a lot. Okay, so he did pick up 3 campfires. Sure, he can heal up, but that's such a tell, right? The moment you place a campfire, you're telling everyone around you, hey, I am low HP. I have to use this if I hope to survive. Now, keep in mind, he was at the edge of the storm. He had quite the rotation to make. Because he dipped into the storm, everyone else is already making their way into safety. He's going to have a relatively safe rotation, but like, again, he's in critical condition. If he finds an elim, it's going to be huge. That siphon's going to just put him right back into fighting condition, but he's got to find that elim.
Dude, talk about like insane rotation. First of all, he didn't get shot once coming from the further side of the Dusty Divot, and there was multiple players set off on bases. That is what we call that little bit of luck factor that sometimes you just need to kind of pull through here, because it doesn't happen like that very often. Someone gets rifted up there. Moffin lands a nice little 78. He's still in the game right now. Still in the game here.
He's going to reload that heavy snipe. So just look for an opportunity. I doubt he's going to try and go for close range snipes. He's probably going to use that to just punch into people's bunkers. He has his own rift to go. If things get a little hairy, I think he probably wants to use it, because if you, this is great. Just punch you, there you go, and use the other player's rift.
Look at his health again.
Yeah, but look where we're going right now. We're going on the little lip there of Dusty Divot. That's such an incline that if you don't make it first, you can actually box other people out, and then they have to burn materials to get over the little hill there. So I like that play, just saying, you know what? This guy used the rift, and look at this. Prime real estate.
You just said it too, right? Like, you want to get on the lift there and see what you can do. Muffin comes in with some shots here. Looking for the replacement.
Wow.
Pulls off the cone, Zeke.
Wow.
Just like that.
And this is huge now, too, because not only does he get all the elims, the campfire's still going, so people are going to be like, oh, that player must be weak. Would we like to engage him? And Mothman sitting on 200 is like, please. No, yeah, absolutely. Like, come on in.
That'll be a big mistake for someone there. Let's look at this map here. This is the Asian region, guys. We're tuned in with Asia. Hopping into some of what occurred overnight here. Char Mew looking to get his little moment here in the show. Nice shot right there. Oh man, Char gets hit with the Shadow Bomb. Don't forget, guys, that animation while you're in Shadow Bomb as well, you're vulnerable. You are very vulnerable. You have to be careful of your surroundings. You can take damage. You're not invincible in the Shadow Bomb form.
Man, Charmy is just burning through materials. That was a pretty rough rotation. It's probably going to cost him in the long run, because, I mean, he did go through quite a bit of mats, but... you know, Monster, I like to pose this question. I've already posed it to Pookie. I've posed it to Kitty. You know, you guys are members of the community. You know, you've taught so many of us different things. You know, you've got a podcast. In case you know who Monster D-Face is, go send him a follow. He's incredible. But you've been in situations like this, right? You've played in Summer Skirmish. You played in, I think, Fall Skirmish as well, right?
Yep.
You know, we went to Korea together to watch the Korea Open. So you understand what these players are thinking. For maybe people that are kind of new to FoRtNiTe, that maybe this might be their first time tuning in, you want to just break down some things for them?
Yeah,
like for instance, like rotations. Like what is Metsuo thinking right now as he's barreling toward trying to keep himself safe, right?
Yeah, well, like, obviously, initial threats, right? You want to handle everyone here. Nice little trap play. So just even every single decision can be broken down. The way they use traps, a lot of these players, you want to double trap left and right wall, so you cut off all plans for escape.
Right.
Something small like that. Here, editing his way down, right? He does not have an escape plan. That elim right there is going to give him the launch pad, of course, to get the escape route off the high ground, but just recognizing height differences, the way competitive players play zone, they typically like to hug the zone. They never give too much... they don't take too much real estate in the end moments. They take their time and kind of hug the zone instead, flirt with that storm line. So many little different things that come into competitive play, and you can really just nitpick and break it all apart. It's so crazy in the highest levels.
Yeah, I just love talking about that stuff. I'm not great at articulating my thoughts with that kind of stuff. I understand what's happening. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to tell you a thing.
It happens so quickly, especially in FoRtNiTe. But that's one of my favorite parts about it is just like the action, the APM, the actions per minute in FoRtNiTe is unparalleled to any other BR I've ever experienced. And that's what really draws me to this game specifically. So we are looking at Moffin, who pulled through, man, took it right underneath the feet of people like Aim Hero that Zeke and I had. We had the pleasure of casting it at South Korea. He crushed it.
Yeah.
We saw Sinnoh out
we met
there.
him. We met Aim
we
Hero.
met all, dude. It was like so surreal, dude.
Yeah,
right?
Dude. I remember that story that would happen so vividly. We met him because we were like, you know, we're like in almost like a green room waiting to go. Yeah. And we saw players around us, and Aim Hero was like, he popped in the room, and we're like, oh, hey, like, hi.
Matter of fact, remember, there was like this divider, we were standing over it, and they were like, Zeke, I love you.
And I was like, wait, what? And they were like, yeah, you're Zeke, and you're Monster D-Face. And we were like, wait, first of all, congratulations, Moffin XD. You know, we know you're the victor, and that is exactly why 11 eliminations and the Victor Royale, 21-point game, massive lead for him. But yeah, I remember, and then they just called us out. They're like, yeah, you're Monster, and you're Zeke. And I was just like, what the heck?
That was definitely crazy to think outside the country.
Yeah, that was
like,
what was
we're
so...
out the country. This is FoRtNiTe on a global scale here.
Man, how you know, it's so crazy. That was like at the beginning of the year, and now here we are, dude.
Yeah.
We have
not made a full year casting FoRtNiTe yet. This thing has just like exploded.
Oh goodness, the snipe
like
coming out! Oh, wow, what a massive shot coming out of Moffin there. And look, check this out. 31 players left. He's already on 6 eliminations. This guy is crazy, and this is who is going to the World Cup Finals. This is the level of play we will see in the finals.
Yep, Moffin's going to have to bring it. When you put a player who's only experienced one region, let's just say, against the likes of the rest of the world,
yep.
who knows what region is really going to come out on top. Keep in mind, too, though, guys, you know, EU and the American regions, the European and American region, will, of course, have a larger presence just off of the sheer numbers. So it is going to be interesting how the top 20 turns out, especially considering, you know, some presence a little less than others, but I mean, all these guys are equally skilled.
That's right.
In some capacity. They're all deserve to be there, all of them.
And you know what's funny too is we interviewed, in case you missed it earlier, go back and check out the VODs. We actually interviewed Sozman, the winner from OCE, and you know, he was just basically explaining, like, you know, we asked him how do you feel about going into the FoRtNiTe World Cup Finals, and he was like, oh, you know, OCE plays differently than NA does, and it's going to be interesting for me going to finals and competing against that because we just play so differently. So I almost, in my head, like, I just imagine everyone kind of playing their own game going into finals, but at the same time, like, you got to think this is a $30 million prize pool. This is huge. You know, the biggest stage ever
for different places. I mean, but that goes against everyone else too, though.
Sure.
Because that means, like, oh man, just think about it.
I think finals are gonna have its own meta.
They're gonna have a style, and of course the pressure's gonna be high, guys. I think the real question is who's gonna have the confidence to take a fight and win a fight. Like, who is straight up gonna have the confidence and just be like, you know what, I don't respect your builds, I'm pushing you. Like, who's gonna be that guy, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. If you are confident like that, that's why you see people like Bugga, Dubs, Clicks, right? Stompy. They was like, what duo are you? I don't care if you're Kinstar. I'm gonna take your wall right now.
Exactly.
And that level of play is why. And dude, we've seen Stompy do it every week. Even this time around, he got 11. He was just outside of top 10. So trust me, he's still here, guys. That's what they do. They just do crazy plays.
Yeah, that's actually something you taught me way back when. Is you cannot. Let's say it's just Zeke, me, and I'm in this game somehow. I don't know, some alternate universe, and I'm good at the game, and I'm fighting off against someone like Moffin here, who qualified as that #1 player going into finals. I cannot stop and sit here and go, that's Moffin. I know what he's capable of. I can't make a mistake. I just have to go. It doesn't matter who that is. I just have to play my game. I have to play the very best that I can. And at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for, right? Like, the moment you stop and think, that's Tfue, I think that it's already too late. You've already made the error, right? Like, you can't stop, and some people can't. So they're like, okay, I know that's Tfue. I know he's going to try and probably do this based on what I've seen and information I have. But if you're just sitting there and thinking like, oh man, that's Tfue, I don't know if I can fight him, like, no, you can fight him. You've made it to finals for a reason. Take the fight if you think you can.
Yeah, right? It's also gonna get crazy too, because for FoRtNiTe World Cup, if you guys don't know already, we're going through full games. The early game story, the contestation, the points of interest, who likes to land where the map's gonna be at that point, right? Things are gonna change, and the game is gonna be played in a way that we have not seen yet. And that's what excites me the most, is that we're gonna see 100 of the world's best under one hub. The FoRtNiTe World Cup.
Oh man,
Finals.
I can't wait. I can't wait. And to see all the FoRtNiTe fan there as well, kind of cheering on the people they support. It's going to be
Are you ready
amazing.
to feel the crowd's energy?
I'm going to cry.
Rip through your body?
I'm going to cry, dude.
It's literally you're going to feel the vibration of the entire stadium.
Just erupt when incredible plays happen, you know.
Oh man.
Man. Ooh, dude. Chills, dude. Chills.
Chills, dude.
Oh, yeah. We just fist bumped. You guys didn't see it. FoRtNiTe fan. We had a little bit of a moment there. We hope you had that moment with us. Hashtag FoRtNiTe World Cup. Are you ready? Are you hyped for the FoRtNiTe World Cup Finals in New York City? Alter Ego here finds an elimination, cracks that player. Now, this is his first elim. He's probably hoping for more, right? At this point, he wants as many points as possible. So he's going to look to probably play a little bit more aggressive, right? But look at everyone else. Moffin, the #1 player who came through for Asia, is in this lobby, and he's dominating the high ground. 12 eliminations, by the way.
He has just been shutting it down while we've been chatting up a storm here. Moffin going for the high ground. He's holding it. Nice little side jump right there. No errors coming out of him. And look at how he uses the boombo to crack open all the builds. Nice little 82 right there. Here comes the pressure. Can he get the follow-up? He's looking for it. Nice little side jump, and that's another one. This player is in pickaxe territory. Bye-bye jackpot. And Moff could not even get the loot off that. Couldn't get the spoils. Another boombo crack open right there. And when a fresh build comes out, if you do not hesitate, you send a boombo right away, you break it all open. So that's how he's able to just like catch these players off guard, because those roof panels are just, that's it, exploding right up.
Yeah.
Down to the low ground, CXV gets one elim there, and it's Macy and Mev who's going toe-to-toe. Mob still just has the dominant position.
Yeah, I mean, so he's going to drop down. He's got the single build, so he had to take a little bit of fall damage to rejoin everyone from the stratosphere. Macy's down below, and look at this. Immediately, boom, he says, I know you heard me take this fall damage. You don't know how much it was. They go for the challenge, and Muffin was prepared. He knew. Again, it's just about dictating the game, right? He's like, I want you to challenge me. You know that I'm hurt, how hurt I am. You do not know. And just like that, dictating the game yet again cleans up that victory out. 15 eliminations.
Points is that? It's that 25-point game.
That's
literally doubling his score out of nowhere. If you were in the top 10 and you had that come up, that's it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, guys, you know, we've had an awesome time, but for now, we're going to hit pause. Let's send it back into studio with Dr. Lupo, because I believe the doctor is in.
What a terrible, repetitive joke, Zeke, but I appreciate the effort. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Zeke. Appreciate that. Crazy games from Asia and Oceania. You love to see kind of the meta changes and how different regions present themselves and the way that they adjust their gameplay relative to everybody else. But Europe today, and as we've seen multiple times in the past, Europe has done an excellent job of putting on a show like I think few people could even possibly imagine. And to talk about that and an interesting turn of events for who ended up at the top, joining me right now is Sundown. What do you think so far about Europe?
Thank you so much, Lupo. Indeed, it was crazy. So just a couple of quick facts I want to write down. 15 points separated 100th place and 8th place. That means a 5-point victory route was the difference of going to New York City and being in the 100th spot. That is absurd for how close it was. Blackso, in that final game we watched, pushed him up to 61 points. He was tied at 61, but because he had the victory royale and got the average elim at the end, it pushed him into the last spot. We talk about how every single interaction ends up mattering, and then unfortunately on the outside looking in, Airwalks, the last play we saw, if he had had one more build, he could have made it up the elevation and kept the storm. Instead, lost it, lost the victory royale, and lost his spot in New York City. Mitro also on the outside looking in, 2 top 15 finishes, but not being enough. That lets you know how crazy it is. However, the player who took the top spot was Cypher's Andretta with a crazy run, and we're going to be joined by him right now. Andretta, man, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good.
I mean, I would hope so. So we saw you yesterday put on an incredible show. In week after week, your placings have gone up. What was the difference between this weekend and all of the other weekends? Were you just feeling it? Did you eat your Wheaties for breakfast? What's going on?
The thing is, the other weeks I wasn't that confident, but this week I decided to try and talk with someone while playing. So that kind of helped. Getting to like talk to people, getting them to calm me down and stuff. And I got good RNG. Very good.
Nice, yeah, being able to get all of that and put it together. So you got off to an incredible run, winning 2 of your first 4 games. How were you able to get those victories? Did you just dominate them out? You had a solid amount of elims. What were those wins like?
I was using the bowler to get the end game. And then I usually found out like when I needed to drop out and stuff to go for the eliminations. And I usually had my bowler until endgame. So the thing is, you should try and keep your bowler until endgame, because it's really strong. You can go out of your bowler, get a lot of kills, and win the game. Also, you can use the bowler to get height most of the times.
Yeah,
so I did that sometimes. And
we saw you execute on that a number of times, which is kind of something we were talking about, pushing the gameplay and actually turning the baller into something that was aggressive. Now, kind of about midway through, you looked at the leaderboard, saw you were in such a lead, and knew you'd be able to close it out. But my question is, when it was all said and done, and you saw you were there, you're in the #1 spot, what did you do? Did you run around your house? Did you go tell your parents? Were you celebrating on Discord? What was that moment like?
I was celebrating so much. I actually got hosted by Symphony. My stream was going crazy. I was actually, while I was playing, like my 5th game, I started crying because I almost knew I was qualified. So that was probably one of the best moments in my life ever. I don't know what to say.
It's got to be exhilarating, honestly, to know that, especially in Europe, which we've talked about as one of the most difficult regions to qualify in, even with 8 positions, there's so much pressure there. But I got to ask a kind of a random question. I keep seeing the lighting change on your face. What are you watching right now?
I'm actually watching the FoRtNiTe stream.
All right, you see yourself. There's layers here. There's layers. It's
I see myself.
very Inception level. Well, thank you so much, Andretta, for joining us. Before we let you go, though, if you could do me a favor, please, 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 please shout out your own channels, shout out your duos channels, anybody you want to.
Okay. So my Twitch is Andretta. My Twitter is Cypher Andretta. My YouTube is Andretta. And I want to shout out Shoko-Laden, and all the people in that Discord. And I want to shout out my stream. Thank you so much for the support.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Again, incredible performance both yesterday and today. Congratulations. $10,000, a spot in New York City, and as Golden Boy would say, we'll have to get a slice of pizza. We'll be seeing you later, man.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely incredible. It's crazy to think just the age ranges too. You know, kids that are so young, all the way up to, I believe the oldest qualified right now is 24
right now. Yep.
Consider how much they're playing for too. I don't blame him honestly for getting emotional in the middle of even halfway through his games. It's insane.
It's just nuts to me where he's like, oh, I didn't have the level of confidence. And then right after, it's like, yeah, about like halfway through my games, I started crying because I knew I'd done it. And it's like, that's the level of confidence you need to be bringing on the final day. Just huge shout out to Andretta. Go follow him on Twitter, follow him on Twitch, give him all the plugs because I promise you'll be seeing more of this prodigy. Topping Europe is an incredible accomplishment, but we have more games and more regions to be getting into. We saw Oceania and Asia just now. We're going to hop on into Brazil for a brief little bit. So back on over to the cast as we go.
Thank you guys so much. Man, you know, I feel like we've just nerded out about FoRtNiTe, but now seeing Andretta be there and just like talk about things, it makes me want to nerd out more.
Dude, it gives me the feels, man. These young champions coming up and coming out, and it's crazy. Like he said, he just knew he made it, because if you look at the track history of all the players who've qualified so far, I say it every week, it only takes about 5 or 6 games. That's all it takes. If you get 5 or 6 aces, just solid games, big points, big placement, you're knocking on the door. Right. All you got to do is not choke the rest. Just ease it out. Just ease it out. Get a couple here, get a couple there, secure the deal, and Andretta knew 5 games in, oh my gosh, I think I got the 5 that I really needed to make it to New York City. And that was it. That was like literally it. Long behold, though, he gets first in the whole thing. European, the toughest region, in my opinion. Yeah. One of the toughest regions. Of course, you can't take away from West, who sometimes only gets 1 spot. You know, OCE, Asia, and Brazil, of course, they only get 1 spot. It's crazy. That's arguably harder, but when you talk about mass player pool, Europe is hard, dude. To get number 1 is insane.
Well, especially for Andretta, I had a card not that long ago kind of saying a few of his placement spots. Last week, we watched him end in 610th place. And now, the last solo week, now to see him in the final week come out as that number 1 player. You know, that's
just click.
You know, I would associate like, you know, there's 8 spots, and if you hit one of 8, great, awesome. I've qualified, great. But to be able to say, of that 8, I was number 1. Look, you know, Tifus of the world, you guys need to respect my game. I came in number 1 in Europe. That's why I'm here in the finals. Like, let's go. It's going to be insane. Oh man, I love FoRtNiTe so much. 23 people left in the current lobby though. Monster hopping in Storm Circle 6. Now guys, don't forget, we are hopping into Brazil games. These are live. For a moment there, we had the timer. We're about 1 minute 30 or so left on queue times. Don't forget, it's 10 games.
An hour.
About an hour 40. Okay, I was close. Darn. I was just off by 10. We have either that 3-hour window or 10 matches to play, whichever comes first. And then obviously we're going to, you know, make sure that, because don't forget, you can queue up even with those last few seconds and then play out an entire match. So we want to just make sure everyone has enough time to wrap up their games, get those standings out. But here we go. Peru, hopping in with him. 100 ping. All right.
Things are unfolding right now as we speak. So this is a live situation here. Brazil, known for another region that you have to pick up heavy eliminations, secure placement points, This is not just a win every game and you make it through scenario. You need the elims as well. Nice shot right there from Peru. 100 ping. Connecting with the combat. Oh, bumps his noggin right there, and it's going to cost him a second launch pad.
Yeah, you definitely want to look up. You never want to make that happen because you waste a secondary launch pad, but it's okay. New rotation coming out. He's got to reassess. He's going to be able to get himself to safety. Now, he's already hit top 15, so everything's okay. We're still in the running here. But, you know, there's a lot of big names in the Brazil region. All the W7M boys. You see the red teams, right? You know, Snow, just to name one. You know, the X-Own King. So many talented players.
Seen Techno Viking kind of pull through.
Also from red, you know, man, there's so many players here that this spot could go to. Tries to challenge for the launch pad, doesn't get it, and says, Kin, I'm going to go ahead and shut you down. You took that launch pad, I need it, and that's what helps him make the rotation.
Ooh, but he does get hit by a combat. It's Ice who's in the high ground, so Peru's now found himself in a dire situation. He's got to start healing. Tony's underneath the build, putting some pressure up, but Tony gets melted by Code, Pulsari, and so does Gabriel. Just gets owned by Vanessa on the edge there. Clip Node now putting pressure down. We're going to hop into his perspective here as he's looking for this combat. That's one, that's two. Doesn't find a third, but it's okay as he raises himself up another layer. He's trying to get a brief moment of peace in this crazy storm that he's in right here. He can't even heal. A nice little shot. Fran, he catches him in the toe. It's going to keep him in the game here.
This is huge, man. He's already on 8 eliminations. When we talk about elimination counters, especially on finals, 8 is massive. You know this player has been on a spree, and look at this. Clipnote looking to play it out as technically as possible, looking for these angles, waiting for people to turn their backs and send shots over. I think he's trying to go for the wall replace.
Yeah, he hit this guy for white, so he knows he can take this right here. He's got to be careful, though. Can't let his guard down. Turns around. It's Peru, who was in a weird spot before. He was very low on health. Turns that one around. Someone else goes down to the storm right there, so Clipno couldn't even get that. It's Vamos, who was still in the game. And Exakao holding up the high ground right now. What's he going to do? He's just walking on these builds. He doesn't have anything left. Neither does Clipno.
In the shadow form, he just obliterates the player. That was absolutely insane. But Clipnote is the victor of that game. Like, see what it did there? You maybe saw it, maybe didn't. It's okay. Next game, though, massive prop. You see
the clip and the this and the that.
I just rhymed. No big deal. I'm not a rapper. 44 players in the next game. Moving on in. Man, he popped that ghost right out of the sky. Maybe you could call him a ghost buster.
Oh.
Shout outs to Jeff.
Right,
I made your joke. We're going to high five after this from production.
Take his joke?
Yeah, he wanted me to make the joke on broadcast, so I did it. Again, guys, hashtag FoRtNiTe World Cup. Give production some love. There's so many people that work so hard to make this all possible, and they're all wonderful human beings that I honestly cannot give and express enough love for. So just say, hashtag FoRtNiTe World Cup production team. You guys are awesome. That would mean the world to me and to them. And an hour and a half. I guess 36 minutes. I'm just going to be specific because everyone's always like, you're rounding, don't do that. I'm sorry, it's just how I work.
Yeah, Zeke, there's 1 hour and 36 exact minutes and 13 seconds at this current moment. Every second, every moment matters.
That's right. Here we go.
It's Fax trying to get this guy to come down. Combat redeploy. He gets behind the tree. Tree works out in his favor, and shadow bomb.
You saw it. He was like, dude, I want this elim. I worked real hard. I need to find it. And they shadow bomb out. They're like, no. And in the end, it was the elimination credit. He must have fallen to the storm. Don't forget, with those recent changes, you got to be more careful, man. That 60-second timer, you can't play around with that.
Dude, he must have, I can only imagine in shadow form, if you wall hop off of a structure and it throws you back just a little bit. It must have been just enough to hold him into the storm.
Yeah.
And that's how Fax caught that elimination here. As the congestion, this is unreal for the Brazil region. You don't see it get this crazy, but 40 players basically on a non-moving zone right now. We're just approaching the first. Luco boy finds Mew Pao there, and Oni Tomori is putting in some pressure as well. Just kind of see what he can find here. Fax just waiting on by, trying to...
He's got the launch pad.
Holding it in the hand.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give it away, because if you put it down early, it does make that sound, and players know, all right, community launch pad, there you go. Great, making sure that the storm overtakes it, so if anyone else wants to do it, they take the damage for it. Bro, we are nowhere. It's still 9 players. 8 players need to fall before top 25.
Yeah, this is actually insane right now. These guys are sticking around for placement in these final moments here. But if you want to take first place, you got to get Elans here, and that's why Fax is being so proactive right now.
Something to point out, too. Check the right side of your screen. The damage threshold, don't forget about that. Look at this number, though. 1,000 damage above the threshold. This guy is putting in work right now. Fax, he is going full send. He is aware. He wants to try and qualify. Remember, there's a spot up for grabs in Brazil, and these are live games happening right now. So, you know, Oceania and Asia happened overnight. We still have to crown a champion coming out of the final solo week for Brazil.
Yeah, Fax is already at 13 points, so if that was his game 1, he's way ahead of the curve here. This might be about his 3rd or so, but nonetheless, he's still in the running right now. These are some respectable points to be had. He's going for the high ground, catches him with a clothesline to Zoom, straight up, hits him with the 96. And now, he's in it, but he's gonna go down to the low ground here. He doesn't want to contest for the high. He still has to pop some minis, and the server's collapsing on him with raining fire here. He's got to be extremely careful. Lucky for him, the high ground is in a battle of its own now. Fax catches a moment to regather himself as Ganks and Lorax is in the high ground.
Man, and look at all these players coming in from the community launch pads, any rotational tools they had, the Rift to Goes. Oh, yeah.
That's a weird place to be, man. You can't build on that thing.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You have to build over it.
Up and over.
A shot into the storm. Oh, my. And that is Tuela's picked up 2. Tate as well. Frita. Batata Frita. 2 eliminations to name.
Is that another? Oh, that one's just yoinked from him. He almost had it. But credit is still to be had here as he is turning up right now.
Bro.
I can't pronounce that the way Zeke did, but Batata Frita is going in right now. He's looking for this high ground.
You see the technical builds, too? Using the cone and then hopping out around, using that floor to catch yourself so you kind of save a build there? All right. All right, Batata Frita. I'm about it. An 82 and a follow-up. That is Lorax.
And he got the mats. That's what's important here. He does have the materials to hold out now. The high ground is here. Can he stick it out, though? Yes, players are dropping right now. We're in top 6 suddenly. So all these placements are being divvied out. Just one more person goes down, and just a little bit more is going to be rewarded to him here.
Man.
So you can see the shot there.
This was really good from him, right? Making the decision to go high ground. Look at this. It's put him in the top 5. We were top 25 when we kind of tuned into him, right around there. And because of his decision-making, he's gotten himself all the placement points. The victory route is the next threshold. And look, Monster, he's just looking to close this out.
That's right, and I love it because he's just textbook holding his high ground, but he is out of mats now. So this is where you have to go down, uses the cone right there to sit on that, and he just has to give the high ground to Avir here.
I believe that is Avalar, I think.
Oh, Avalar, gotcha,
yes,
gotcha.
I think so. Sundown can correct me at some point. He's going to go toe-to-toe with that player, though, and that is it. Good day, sir.
All right, did he get mats off that? He didn't, Zeke.
He's got the flint knock, though. He's got...
he's got the combat, so he's got right there. One more shot to Wonder Erzin is going to go down. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. Frita connects in the final moments right there and walks away with a 6th elimination victory royale.
Man, 16-point game coming out of the Brazil region. You like to see it. Now, FoRtNiTe fam, you know we've had so much fun hanging out with you, but for now, let's sit back in the studio and see what Dr. Lubo's got.
Thank you, Zeke. Thank you, Monster D Face, you legends. I know a lot of people are wondering, and yes, we're going to look at it here in a second because the tension in Brazil is high. South America putting on an excellent show, and we want to see what the standings are, so I'm going to take a little stroll on over, and we're going to look at the board and see exactly where everybody is lining up right now, and here you go, top to bottom. Club Note sitting at 51 points, 4 games played in 2 victory royales, but right on his tail, only King, 45, just 6 points behind, and only 3 games played. You see the spread here, not too far away from each other. Multiple players from previous qualifying weeks. King, code Nix right there. Both players already have made their way. They've already punched their ticket to New York City, but consistency is key, as you can see here, an example of exactly that. You'd love to see it. Brazil, thank you so much for everything you've done for us so far, putting on an excellent show. But before we get into the rest of the games of the day, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, so don't go anywhere except for maybe to the bathroom. Sorry, half hour. I do this every time. Production yells at me repeatedly. I don't know how to tell time, all right? It's 30 minutes. Go get some lunch. Swing on back. See you in a bit.
and cuts the show. He makes sure that you guys are seeing the best quality content that you can.
Check out the next block of NA West. Let's see what we have in store.
Aiden had some great plays. If he is able to carry the momentum over into this one.
Are you guys curious to see how audio works for the broadcast? Let's go meet up with John.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the audio mixer, or A1, on FoRtNiTe. Welcome, FoRtNiTe fam, to the audio booth. This is the audio board. All the audio that you hear goes through my hands. This is all of our wireless microphones for all of our talent. And then right here are all of our in-ear monitors, or IFBs, so that I can talk to talent. Like, usually it's something like, hey, Zeke, turn on your mic. And then they turn on their mics. I think Zeke should have heard that right now. Did you hear that? Nice. Also, I have a window.
All done! Yay!
Day one's done!
What are you talking about? World Cup finals over, guys, okay? I won everything.
Guys, I just want to let you know, my favorite person in the world is in this room.
Wow.
Which one do you think it is?
It's not me.
I'm happy to tell you.
It's not me.
It's actually Kitty Plays! Boom! Right there! You know, it's not easy making this look good. Go meet up with Monique, the makeup artist, to see how she gets all this done.
No, I don't like that guy, Zeke. He's such a... Oh, hey! Hi, I'm Mo. I'm the makeup artist. I'm the one that makes these nerds look beautiful. Oh, Zeke. Sorry, let me just reel.
There's two people that don't get nearly enough love. They are the people who operate the cameras, and I'm going to introduce you to them right now.
That's Allison. That's Mahoney. That's Mo.
Hi.
Touched on right there is when he gets knocked out with that RPG, instantly rips. Oh my goodness, that was
North, you know, setting up their cottage, setting up their homes.
take 3, take 4, and 5 minute game!
Ready off 5, ready off 6, take off 6.
Keep on 1!
Ready off 3, take off 3. Ready off 10, take off 10. Take off 5, ready off 3, take off 6.
And cut. Keep up the good work, dude.
Are we gonna do a FoRtNiTe? Wait, come on. We'll get in there. Let's do a pookie. Let's do a pookie on 3. 1, 2, 3.
We have a post-show pinata.
Get it right now, Zeke.
I'm
That camera. Hit Zeke in the face.
We've seen 8 weeks of amazing FoRtNiTe Battle Royale action. Players from all around the globe have battled it out, and some have been able to already book their ticket to New York City to compete in the FoRtNiTe World Cup final in front of thousands of live fans. $8 million has already been given away, and now we're coming down to the wire. Week 9 is the final opportunity for competitors to try and qualify for the solos competition. Who will join the likes of Dubs, Stompy, Tfue, and X2 Jordan on the stage in New York City? Who will be able to clutch up in their final moments, in their last fights, to earn one of the final 19 spots? And with the last 2 weeks on the horizon, we are increasing the weekly prize pool to $2 million. So, get on the battle bus and drop in. This is your last chance to name yourself among the best of the best and to build your way to a spot at the FoRtNiTe World Cup final. What are you waiting for? The battle is building and you don't want to miss out.
going on, FoRtNiTe fam? Welcome back to week 9 of the FoRtNiTe World Cup Online Open qualifiers. It's week 9, the final opportunity for these players to punch a ticket for the solo competition. This is it. It all comes down to the wire. Now, of course, guys, in case you've just been tuned in, maybe you haven't been here, maybe it's your first time, let's get you guys up to speed. And of course, refresh your memory. You know how the schedule goes. Oceania, Asia, Europe have all concluded. Brazil's still going on, still wrapping up. And of course, now we're hopping into NA East. And then later on, we'll wrap the day up with NA West. Now, the format, because it is solos, top 25, top 15, top 5, and the Victory Royale are all the placement thresholds. Every single elimination is 1 point. Now, don't forget, guys, the prize pool for week 9 and week 10 have been doubled. This is insane. Now, of course, money is fantastic, but those coveted qualifying spots, that's what these players are after. 8 in Europe, 6 in NA East, 2 in West, 1 in Asia, Brazil, and Oceania. Now that we're hopping into East, there is 6 total spots on the line for these players. Again, it is the last possible opportunity for these players to punch their tickets to the finals in New York City. 19 players will be joining us when the day is said and done. Now, of course, we're hanging out with Sundown. Let's take a look at the standings heading into NA East. I'm curious to see how things are shaking out for these players, especially after yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible round of matches so far. We've seen our finals and our semifinals be incredibly close from top to bottom. Again, in Europe, 15 points separating 8th from 100th place. Wow. Let's take a look here. Everyone on pretty much 3 matches, with the exception of Secrets, Vape Jesus hanging out there on to 6 points, or 7 points, excuse me. Math is a little bit hard between Outlet and Bugabot, but we have a whole bunch of FoRtNiTe to still play. Nearly a little under 2 hours in terms of the queue times going, and I mean, we're gonna book 6 more tickets.
That's right, don't forget, guys, top 6. As Sundown likes to say, you must be this tall to ride. So if everything was said and done, these would be your top 6 players, which for Outlet, someone like 72 Macwood, this would be huge. But of course, like you said, we still have a ton of games to get through. So of course, let's hop into the action. We need 2 casters, and of course, we're bringing out the big guns. Let's get Courage JD and Dr. Lupo on deck. Gentlemen, floor is yours.
Dr. Lupo, we are here. Hello, my name is Courage JD. This is Dr. Lupo. Sorry, the camera angle makes me look a little bit shorter than him, but we're about the same height in real life. Ben, NA East, it's here. 72 hours, popped off yesterday. I said I was rooting for Mongrel in the EU. He did it. I'm rooting for 72 hours now in the US. Let's get into the games.
I was talking earlier about that exact thing, that exact person, Tom, representing NA East in a big way yesterday on the board, even in the bottom right corner of your screen right now. I'm going to jump in with Showbeans, though. 1 elimination, 7 points. Not a whole lot of ammunition in the inventory, but enough builds to make an escape. Plus those 2 shadow bombs are going to be key, Jack, for these mid to late game rotations.
Showbeans right now getting set up with these assault rifle weapons. The issue with having 2 of the same weapon class with the ammo means, well, they share the ammo bed, and when you have under a clip in each, you're not really in a good spot. Thankfully, as we know, the combat shotgun with much more range than the likes of the pump when it was in the game can definitely get a little bit more done with it here in the late game. But now Showbeans on the run, not popping a shadow bomb as of yet. Was maybe hoping to hit that launch pad, but looks like
quite
struggling to get some builds in here.
Building, honestly, probably one of the most important pieces of FoRtNiTe Battle Royale. It is the ultimate Battle Royale experience, Jack, as they say. Make a movement here, landing inside the same box. KGG gets the GG back to the lobby. Showbeans picking up a second elim, a lot of materials, and enough ammunition for multiple magazines. Finds another player inside. Quick edit, but decides to back out of that. Just kidding. The drop back in down to 38 HP. Took a lot of damage right there, trying to wall off from pressure from multiple sides. A tough position. Gonna have to rotate away right now. One of those shadow bombs may be the right call if more pressure comes in. It's Bucky. Cam Bam down below. Void. Shy Guy, Maximus, Frey. Slothy plays, multiple players on your screen right now. And that's going to be the case pretty much throughout all of these games, especially in NA East. We mentioned earlier, I was with Sundown, we talked about Europe and how aggressive they seem to play in comparison to other regions. NA East a little slower as of recently in solos, especially with this being the final week of qualifiers for solos for the World Cup. That is more splodes. It is, the legend has it to this day, they're still going off. Slothy burning through all their materials.
How is Slothy alive right now?
Didn't take a single point of damage.
Didn't take a single point of damage. Typically when that happens, the entire lobby begins to focus and then returns the favor onto Erupt Void with the combat shot there. Slothy, of all the outcomes right there, Dr. Lupo, that has to be the absolute best considering the circumstance.
Imagine having 15 dynamite thrown at you, not taking a single point, and then quickly one-tapping a player on the rotation after you've rebuilt. Now look at this. Slothy sees a player through the transparency of the metal wall going up. That's the storm side too, so there's a chance maybe to wait. Doesn't decide to do it. Jumps out there into the rift to go. Yeah, that other player may follow through behind. We're at 36, 35 players remaining. Kotor goes down to the storm. Kingman's picking up J-Mac in the feed as well. Sharp on your screen. Multiple players and ballers.
Remember, if you're on the ground right now, you're slipping and sliding around.
Not a fun position to be in. You have TJ, Baldy, multiple players, well-known names we've seen multiple times in the past. But you have to remember, too, that this is just the beginning of Sunday qualifiers, so everybody's kind of queued into the same pool, but as people start to push higher and higher in points, you're going to see the lobbies get more and more difficult as we go closer to the
stand out for sure.
Yep.
Here's a look at Bugabot currently in the bottom of this build. Dynamite coming into play, recognizing, well, I've got to make something happen. Ooh, and there's a free limb on a Maximus. Now at 8 total points. Remember, top 25 is where placement points begin to come into play. Bugabot so darn close. Ooh, builds all the way into the zone, takes a couple ticks of damage, but nothing too bad, has a med kit, and I don't mind this at all right here, Lupo. I like the fact that he's gonna wind up popping this med kit, and actually stops to go and fight someone nearby, because there's really not gonna be another time to be able to pop this med kit when this all goes down. Bugabot hits the community rift, and will begin to float towards this zone. So look at the rest of the carnage going down. We've reached our top 20.
12 builds there, floating in from above. Talk about not sitting on a whole lot of small ammunition for that tactical AR. Baldy goes down to the storm. Bucky picking up Saw on the feed. Another elimination there for Bucky. Fly on pass doesn't have an opportunity to compete for high ground. He's going to land on the ultimate low down on the floor down here, trying to get as close to the edge of the front of the storm as possible. You don't want to spend too much time trying to make your way in, especially with only 2 builds now. 1 brick, 1 metal. Gonna have to try and apply pressure, and there goes the rest of the materials. Bugabot now, fight for his life on the ground, drops in a player immediately next to him. 2 combat shotgun shots back to back there.
But that player also had no materials. Okay,
a little bit of wood.
There we go. That'll definitely help. Bugabot making the most of a bad situation with another elimination. Now into the top 10. And still, with 13 builds left, can try to make something happen. Here's a look from the top down of exactly where everyone stacks up. Frey on height, but Frey also very, very weak. Looking to get maybe some siphon coming up here. Bugabot pushes out, decides, nope, I can't pick up that rocket right now. I've got to focus on this enemy that's nearby. Back up to 26 builds now. Bugabot in the top 5. So max placement points earned outside of winning the darn game. So definitely a solid performance up to this point. Haz with 2 from up top. There's a challenge coming on, and that is Haz, who gets cut down by Bugabot. 1 versus 1, and Frey just fell to his death because he had like 45 HP.
Eliminated by fall damage there.
That's that.
Plummeting down, and kind of a anticlimactic win there. I mean, still, it's a victory royale. That's 10 points right there, plus the elimination, so you got to feel good, but didn't really have to compete for the last one outside of Haz falling in on top of his head there. Meanwhile, the next game over, 39 players remaining. We are in the southwest corner of the map. Gonna slide on in here. A fly in from the outside is Slacky Marevs. NA East, by the way, has just under 2 hours left to play. We're a little over a third of the way through their queue time. You have to get 10 games in. You can get 10 games in, I should say. A lot of players, even ones that make it to the top 10, top 5, even first place, don't often finish all their games. There's no need to if you're getting wins and high elimination counts every single time you play for placement, that kind of thing. So you do have an hour and 50 minutes left.
I think he's just staring at this guy, just sitting in this box, wanting to just go for it. There it is. Oh!
The shot in the air?
No, tried to make it happen. Tried to make it happen, but unfortunately can't. But either way, Marevs had the right idea. If that player doesn't have a rift, obviously that's a different story. Looks like wants to keep the pressure going, and I don't mind this at all. You know how weak this person is.
Have to.
You have to go for this. Again, we talked so much about it. If you want to qualify for the FoRtNiTe World Cup Finals, you will not get away with just placement points. You need eliminations if you're going to do it. He gets right inside the box, and that was exactly who tried to break on out, tried to escape, but unfortunately met their demise right there inside the 1x1.
Slacky actually tried to do one of the coolest little gimmicks you can do. If you are above an opponent that has a pyramid on top of the 1x1 that they're in, you stand in the corner of it and build 2 of your own walls against that corner and then just pickaxe straight down. Because your character, the character model will drop in there and you'll phase through. If they instantly replace it, you'll phase through and fall into their box. You can keep the aggression going.
I call him Dr. Lupo for a reason right there.
Listen, I've watched enough. Let me just say this. I'll admit this openly. I have before. I'll say it again. I'm not the best player, Jack.
We know.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, there's a reason you're standing by my side right now. By the way, in comparison, we're trash. But we've watched enough and can understand the mechanics behind the game.
Absolutely.
That at this level, things like that, they stand out so much, and it's that kind of gameplay. You know, there's a reason I'm hiding behind the desk, like I said.
Hey, man, it makes sense. It's great to, you know, be here casting with you, and also full peace of mind knowing that I have more skill in me than both you and your Pro-Am partner, Jordan Fisher, have in your entire bodies combined.
Best FoRtNiTeDuo-ever.com.
And myself and Brendan Urie, when we win next week, are going to sing and dance on stage. And then we're going to have $1 million go to our charity of choice. So. Tickets are actually available for the summer block party and the Pro-Am if you'd like to come take part and watch me take over. You can go to FoRtNiTe Summer Block Party, Google, and find the link to it, because I don't know it off the top of my head. How about that for a plug?
A valid attempt there, but a little bit of a miss, just like most of your gameplay. Meanwhile, Tom, 72 hours here, 3 eliminations now. Pops the slurp to prevent anybody else at that point from using it. Picks up a mini. So I'm a little curious why he picked up 1 mini over keeping the slurp.
Sometimes in these late game moments, some panic can set in. You might not realize, you might not be able to get the chance. You might think, oh, that's 6 minis, right? And it's only 1. So right now, 72 hours, just trying to stay alive. Played out of his mind yesterday. A fantastic day, but as we know, Saturday doesn't always transfer over to Sunday. 72 hours spraying with this infantry rifle close range. Oh, doesn't get that a limb. Does stay in the zone, doesn't get that a limb either. There you go.
Found one.
Okay, they do drop, but he kind of tunnel visioned here, Lupo. He kind of tunnel visioned here,
way
Lupo.
Outside in the storm, pushing his way in. Is he going to make it or not? We'll have to see. Just barely 10 HP remaining. The Shadow Bomb to continue pushing on through to the opposite side of the safe zone. Almost lost it there. 90 HP to the zone is not ideal. Wishes he had that slurp, I'm sure, at this point, hoping he can find some way to get this back. Frantically building his way to the top, trying to build up inside the safe zone, stay at the forefront of the storm. 12 players left. We're very close.
Yep.
Got to make it to the top 5 to pick up the last 2 points before the Victory Royale is the only way for placement to matter anymore. Player directly above him. J-Storm Painful looking down. Maybe an opportunity for Tom. He's going to see it. Releases the edit wall and builds forward. Doesn't want to engage just yet. A little bit of fall in there. No fall damage.
I thought that was going to be it right there.
Very close. 8 players left. J-Storm picking up another elim.
Oh.
Threats finds him inside a box. 72 hours goes down just outside the top 5.
And if you're threats right there, that's an easy decision. You see someone inside trying to chug a big shield in time. You've got a heavy sniper. You know the player's got to be weak. That is a no-brainer type shot. Nicely recognized by threats. You see it on the left side of your screen. Actually does get eliminated right there. So did make it right on the edge of top 5. Not sure if they wound up earning those other placement points. And it looks like he'd wind up, he did. So we are now in our top 3, though. Top right of your screen, Rocardini. Bottom right, Beggs. And then you see on the low ground, Slacky Marevs, too, who's very, very weak. The stink is brilliant from up top. Stinks this late in the game are just so deadly. Marev's going to drop to that. He smelt it and dealt it. Another stink comes in. Beggs getting chunked by this now. Even more stink still in the inventory. Oh, this is just beautiful. Rocardini recognizing that it's best to hold on to those to the extreme late game, and now basically has a free win right in front of themselves with this one. Yeah, that doesn't get much easier. Well-placed stinks, and the patience to hold on to them, Dr. Lupo, pays off in dividends.
You see an opportunity late game like that. Players fighting it out below you. No reason to not just drop that guy on in there and see if you can deal it while they're forced to smell it, Jack. You hate to see that. Eliminations like that, I mean, sorry, name on the screen threw me off for a second. See if you spot it at some point. 43 players left. Anyway, eliminations like that, you got to feel good about it too, because it's almost low effort because you have players that you're not putting yourself in line of sight, just dropping the zone damage down below, letting them fight it out inside. NA East with 1 hour and 44 minutes left.
As you saw, one of the most incredible gamers out there, Yogurt Fart, in this lobby.
I think we're 14, Jack. I think honestly, sometimes our maturity level shows.
Like for real. Like, can
Epic,
we just address this for a second?
From the bottom of my heart, Epic, please.
This is nothing to do with Epic.
I'm sorry.
This needs to be discussed. How do you decide your name's going to be Yogurt Fart? Like where does it come in? Don't you want to, like, everyone else out there is TTV, they want to get their clout up, and then I'm just like, hey, yeah, add my Epic. My name's Yogurt Fart.
I think we've lost Jack, everybody. My deepest apologies. Fernando beaming Yeti out of the sky in the rotation in. Second elimination, 19 points total. Down below, Yogurt Fart still crawling around underneath. Jack trying his hardest to hold it together.
Yo play or Dannon?
Jack?
It's right now, Fernando is keeping the high ground at the moment. Trying to make sure no one can push towards this backside of the zone.
Production not helping with this joke at all in the slightest. Confirmed that it's Danimals in our ears. Jack still trying his hardest.
We're good.
Sincerely, my deepest apologies.
DMO. I actually saw an interview with DMO as.
Come on.
It's right now. Fortunately, he used that hashtag. FoRtNiTe World Cup, and send us interesting names you've seen.
Yes, please.
That you've faced.
Got to get screenshots of them if possible. Got to have proof.
Got to have proof, please.
Screenshotter didn't happen.
Fernando's still up top, just sitting pretty, and it doesn't get much easier than that. Garrido does get cut down. Fernando, launch pad, 4 shadow bombs. Realistically, weapon-wise, really hoping this legendary assault rifle can pull him through, because
listen,
only other thing he has is a common tactical shotgun.
I've said it before, Jack, I'll say it again. The gray tac is the best weapon in the game.
Okay.
Prove me wrong. You can't.
Okay. I'll let you say that.
It's never been proved.
That was Dr. Lupo who said it, Reddit, not me.
Smile.
Just to be clear.
You really gotta point those at me, Jack?
Point that finger.
Reddit, you look wonderful today. Please be gentle. Saw on the feed, picking up another elimination. So you got us bad, not necessarily the worst. Picking up an elim, we're down to the top 30. Fernando getting Sir Wings on rotation. See out another elimination. 29 remaining this shadow bomb to push all the way forward. These players trying their hardest to earn a spot in those 6 positions for NA East.
Only 6 spots, remember, of these 3,000 players, only 6 will make it. Fernando using that tactical shotgun does get 1. Is there a combat on the ground anywhere? Just an upgraded tac. I think that's what they'll have to settle with. Pressure now moving forward. You see Bugga on your screen. Ball giving Bugga a major praise the other day as Fernando fortunately keeps clipping the edge of that build. Not able to make it into zone without taking a couple ticks. Does have a campfire though, but it's a double-edged sword using a campfire this late in the game, Dr. Lupo. It's like a, hey, I'm weak, come attack.
This is the box to shoot at, please.
Yes.
I encourage it. But on top of that, you're also going to be missing HP, in this case shield as well. Pick up on the elim there, and the Storm's going to keep pushing Fernando for a second.
Gets both
has the time. No damage either from the Storm.
And that's great composure right there, because to be honest, I was thinking it wasn't going to happen. As Go CMO actually goes down in your engagement feed, we're in our top 7 right now. Opportunity to break on through. Bugga on your screen, KNG unknown, fighting for the high ground still. TSM Cloud in this game as well.
Kai on the ultimate high ground up above as the remainder of the lobby is forced into the same maybe 2 or 3 boxes vertically. The rift to go puts a player all the way up top, 2 players all the way up top. Bar getting beamed from underneath, just a little bit of damage, but enough to apply pressure and make him plummet to the ground. You'll see another rift, 3 players up. You hear the combat shotgun shot in midair. Somebody going for a big play if they can pull it off. Can't quite yet though. Bar landing. Gonna waterfall down and layer up, basically 3 or 4 floors up off the ground. We're in the top 7.
It's a lot of mats to use right there.
We got 2 players left need to go down before those final placement points, and every point matters, as we've talked about in these placements. Quick edit to check for a shot. Nope, looks down below, applying pressure with the grenades. Excellent grenade play there. Finds Cloud from TSM, hiding on the ultimate low ground. Picks up that elim, putting the top 4 now. Bar dropping down, applying pressure. Another grenade, very close, very risky, and shots from above. That might cost him. We'll see here.
All the
no builds left. The quick edit, the shot through finds Fernando. 1v1 situation, a top down, the combat shots from above. Kai picks up the last elimination from the ultimate high ground to the victory royale. Well played.
No builds or not, you are just never going to win a fight 1v1 with attack versus combat right there. Just not going to happen. It's just a better weapon in the hands of his opponent. The combat shotgun shows off just how darn good it is right there. As we head to our next game, up top, you've got Class. You saw Chap flying by. Class, I believe the newest signing for 100 Thieves. Currently set on up on the ultimate high ground. There's the Q check again, an hour and 38 minutes left.
Class looking around from above. No reason to burn too many materials. Checking down from the top. Anybody on rotation? He's at the back of the storm, by the way. Kind of an interesting position, which means somewhere in that inventory, I bet you there's a rift to go or a launch pad.
Yes.
Not needing to move too early. I mean, he's got 5 seconds now. I'm going to start to make the move.
And
There's launch pad.
Actually
forward.
Hit his head, but it seems like that was on purpose.
That was intentional.
Yeah.
The horizontal movement, if you bounce off one of those ramps 2 blocks up, you get shot out like a rocket, essentially, and you can fly across the map. Less chances for people to shoot you out of midair.
200 IQ play from Class right there. Currently set up. He's got the combat shotgun in hand. As we know, sometimes the inventory doesn't load for the players when we hop on into a new lobby. So Class definitely has more than just a rare assault rifle. Can promise you that. One player just above, looking to put some pressure on, and doesn't
a little bit
much
of pressure.
easier than that.
A little bit of pressure,
Yep.
just a little bit.
There they go.
Elimination in there. 39 players left, 3 elims right now for Class. Eclipse, his duo may potentially be in here. Those players qualified already. Chap, Macwood, Complexity
in our top 10.
The box.
In our top 10 last time we checked the leaderboards.
Indeed.
And is in a great position to rack up points right here.
As with every grenade, when there's 1, there's 50. Finds the elim on the outside. There's 3 now, 30 points.
It's like chips. It's like potato chips. Like you can't
just eat one. You
can't just shoot one grenade.
Show me a person that's eaten 1 chip and then stopped. Yeah, right.
Look at the size of me. I haven't.
The legend has it you're still eating chips to this day. Sorry, Jack. Sorry to expose you.
No, you don't have to. I had some delicious ones earlier. Cheddar cheese, Pringle action.
Excellent.
Macwood spraying. Frantically trying to find some sort of damage to put down range. Every point matters. Every elimination matters. A heavy snipe nearly exposes Macwood, but a quick reaction time does stop it. And actually surprised, Macwood is taking a ton of damage.
He could have for a second opted to take shots, but I feel like that player right there, literally the one he's jumping past right now, there were multiple that had line of sight on the box.
Great movement, though. Great movement.
Big jump.
Hitting that last ball, getting as far as possible. We'll have time to pop both of these minis, which I expect, only using 1, it appears. Wants to save as much of these as possible.
Kind of surprising because we're going into the late game here. He's
Fell.
way
There you
above
go.
the damage threshold. Hey, look, 191 now, no big deal. Looking for shots and a follow-through. The second, maybe a back-to-back. Swap to the combat shotgun. Look at the right side here in just a second. Building up above and finds Das on the rotation up. 5 elims at 32 points. We're in the top 30. Another one of these opportunities. Macwood showing just how versatile those shadow bombs are climbing the mountain.
My goodness, this is a tough zone rotation. And it's going right back, actually. Looks like through where we just were. You see Tilt as well in this game. All the way on the high ground is Thunder. So they're beaming on down, back over to Class, who's currently set on up, kind of towards the higher point of this build. Has made it into the top 25, so more points will be earned.
Pushing on through to the next section here. Just kind of tunneling forward. One of the most important skills for rotation.
Nick A30 was literally talking about it earlier. Saying how before he started to stream, he was in Playground. He was trying to get better at tunneling on uneven ground, like when you need to go up or down or whatever.
It's important too to know when you need to cover all your angles, every side, or just one side or 2 sides, depending on how you're moving and where you're moving. If you're at the edge of the zone, you don't necessarily have to cover your back if you know that side's been empty for a while. or if you're moving across the middle and you want to save materials, maybe a single floor and a ramp, turn rotated, or like you do a jump rotation and quickly place it to end up underneath so you don't use as many materials. By the way, catching a player, specs, immediately placing the launch, jumping off of it.
And what's big is, of everything that just dropped, the one thing Class is able to pick up is 280 brick.
Feels good.
Basically the best thing you could ask for.
Material's so important late game. We're in the top 15 now. Class looking at 20 points, looking for the 21st here in a second. Shot, go for the replace, gets the first layer, go for the replace, gets the second, doesn't quite get the second layer. A little bit of a mis-edit in there too, placing the triangle down. Tons of players up above, one landing directly above, immediately it does the edit to get it to fall through. The player drops down, gets a 124 on the combat, and it's Thunder who goes down, pays the price for the second shot. Very, very good mechanic skill there from Class. A lot of practice goes into moves like that.
Yep, as you hear the rift go off, someone will be contesting for height. Senkaros did just go down. It's Percently who's all the way up top, and Class catches him off guard.
Oh.
Percently went to look up at the rifter, and Class just jumped behind. And that is a game-changing moment, Dr. Lupo, as Class not only eliminates Percently, but refocuses his attention onto the player rifting. High ground is now his, and he's up to his highest amount of material so far in this late game.
Pressure applied on Eclipse, who's basically in the second level there. You've got Lazar and Fox down to the bottom. Shots coming out from Class, moving forward in the stink a little bit on the backside, but no big deal. Eclipse stuck inside a stink of his own. Lazar and Fox in the ultimate low, fighting it out while still getting shot at from above. 3 builds in Fox's inventory, and Class is sitting on 63. Very important to note that, because that means Class could waterfall down and apply pressure at any time. He also has a chance to wall off and heal off from above, and Fox is going to have to take shots. Eclipse goes down. Fox is basically nothing left. Class, a little bit of fall damage. There we go. The builds leading into the campfires for the HP. Fox sliding it on the hill, stuck outside the storm. Class doesn't have to push, but he doesn't know that. Wait for the last second. Shot from above and finds the victory royale. 8 eliminations.
That was not pretty.
18 points.
That was not pretty right there, but that's where we have it. A good victory royale for 100 Thieves. Class, 8 eliminations, the win, 18-point game. Zeke and Sundown with our updates.
Thank you guys so much, man. Do I love FoRtNiTe? The answer is yes, of course. Who doesn't? Now, guys, of course, we're here in NA East. Excuse me, I almost said West. I don't know why I did that. NA East here, knee-deep in the game. Sundown, we've seen some incredible games so far. Let's take a moment here, slow things down, meet up with Sundown. We'll take a look at some of the awesome clips he's got. We'll take a look at the updated standings, and then go from there.
Right, so first we're going to hop on board here with Bugabot. A great individual effort from him on the low ground here. No. Right before that elim, he had 0 builds, now up to 20. But one thing I want you to keep an eye on is his mentality to shoot first in these situations. It might be because he's lower on the builds, but note how he's looking to walk out and take fights. He's not looking to build himself back out. He wants his shots first, which ends up being huge if you're in a position where you can aggress. Picking up Has right there and then able to run it out and get the victory route, just outlasting from 0 builds to a VR. Well done from Bugabot. Now, the Titan of the East, we've talked about it. Players who haven't qualified 72 hours. Tom is on that, and just watch this little bit of a tricksy rotation here. Ends up directly in this player box on the backside of him. Mike can go back to lobby. Boxes himself up, puts the trap down. Nice little defense there. Now, rather unfortunate here that he didn't end up with 2 elims, but the tag and the baller does still pick up Testy, so well done there from 72 hours. We've seen a lot of Fernando as well. Now watch him go to work. That was his first elim, but look at what he gets from all of that. Gets high ground control, the legendary AR, and zone priority position. Because he's on this side and players are forced to rotate into him, he's going to be able to use the rifle. Saw him pick up one there, picks another player off of the jump pad. That feels awful if you're Oscarito, and we've seen him have an affinity a number of times for getting picked up off of those jump pads. So maybe grab a shadow bomb or a ball or rotate along the ground as Fernando keeps putting in work there, getting the storm tick over onto Sir Wings. And look, that's the one thing that we stress about these players. It's the action after their immediate action. You don't slow down. You can't stop right after you pick something else up, because somebody else is there. Picks up the elim onto Quasi, boxes himself up, and then pushes forward. And he's been doing this entire run while he's being contested. It's not like he's avoiding these fights. He's going and he's looking for them, but he's prepared to take them with that shoot first mentality. Very well done from Fernando there. But let's check out those standings right now. The previous qualifier on top, Misfits clicks. Let's look at the spread. 40 points down to 30, so just 10 points separating first and 10th, and 6 spots up for grabs. Zeke's with clicks already having qualified, it would drop down to the 7th spot, and all these guys are right on top of each other.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like someone like Smacked and Fernando, they have the 3 games played, and they're at the 30 points. Someone like Clicks, who's at the top, has 5 with 40 points. So they have like more room to work with, more throwaway games, I guess, but the point spread is still pretty tight. Don't forget, top 6 will be moving on to finals, so there's still plenty of time. I still feel like this is anyone's game. It just takes one incredible standout game to just rock it up on the leaderboard, you know?
It's absolutely anybody's game. We talk about kind of a reasonable pop-off. A 5 elim victory route is 15 points, or 8 elims and in the top 5 is 15 points. Any of those is a realistic final game, and we're right around that halfway mark, and with less than 15 points separating the top 10, anybody will be able to jump up on the page, and that's what FoRtNiTe is all about.
Well, let's not hold off any longer, FoRtNiTe fam. Let's just get right back into the action. So for now, let's send it back over to Courage and Dr. Lupo for more FoRtNiTe.
Ooh-wee, the standings are getting juicy. Some would call them soggy as we move into our next game here.
Speaking of soggy, Jack, on your screen, Liquid Vivid.
And Loot Lake.
A player that's already qualified.
Yes.
Qualified week 1. You gotta love that. An opportunity, though, for Vivid to practice his mechanics, keep his game stepped up to the top. Hopefully push up and maybe pick up, you gotta remember, a little bit of prize money too on the line here, plus it's doubled. $2 million for the entire weekend is insane.
Absolutely wild.
Gives me chills, Jack.
$2 million every week for these last couple weeks is nuts. That's like, you've been around in competitive gaming for a long time. That is like entire life cycles of games prize money. And now it's these 2 weeks. Don't even get me started on the FoRtNiTe World Cup Finals. That is going to be the spectacle to watch this summer. You will want to be tuned in for that. Later on this summer, in the end of July, you see Hogman continuing to pop up in the elimination feed. Vivid throwing these grenades, and on these awkward to build surfaces, like in the water, it is so tough to dodge them, and you see right there how it winds up working out.
It's here at Loot Lake. Multiple players trying to make their way in. 38 left. Vivid starting to tunnel forward. Shots from the backside. He's going to wait. Last second, looked like he was waiting for one more shot from that opponent's AR before he took the combat shotty shot. Couldn't quite get it. For a read here, going to take ownership of the wall, sees the baller through, and going to apply pressure, taking shots there. It actually is Hogman with the baller inside that brick box in the bottom, Loon up top. Premium moving forward up above too, the next level up. Shots underneath the corner edit there. Vivid's going to have to replace the wall with a new one. Maybe a chance to pop that full shield if he decides it's the right call, which at this point it might be, unless someone nearby is very, very weak. Vivid going to go for the full shield. At this point, waiting. You have 18 seconds until the circle starts to close, which means you don't have to move just yet if you're trying to wait, especially if you have a rift in your inventory, a launch pad, anything like that. You can take a second and take shots before movement's required. I believe that's exactly what's going on here. Yep. Vivid's going to rotate on through. Look from underneath, and there is a pyramid separating them now. No chance here. You hear the shadow bomb go off. Vivid might try and track this one down. 54 on the shield on rotation. No chance just yet. A player directly above. He's going to build up and try and match height. Shot from the backside. 32-21. Shield still on that player, and another one rotates in front. It's Navy Rob who goes down to a quick combat shotgun shot.
I actually can't believe Vivid's not being sprayed at more.
Barely even challenged. Yeah. Player down to his bottom right. Loot Lake keeping people on their toes. A player right inside finds Loon in a box. Follow up the back-to-back. Two shots. Hogman goes down. A very, very competitive player. That's a big elimination. Less of a challenge now to reach that #1 spot this game. Vivid moving forward. Another wounded player on the outside, and a baller flies past. Vivid building up. 18 points, 4 elims, and 66 builds. Ammunition not too bad. Loadout not too bad. A player directly underneath. Vivid still making moves non-stop. This is why he qualified week 1. You're looking for a player to watch. This is definitely one high on the list, Jack.
Yeah, he is someone that I think a lot of people always expected to do well and qualify, but the surprising thing for others is that he's the only one of the Liquid boys who has, right? And Vivid has been a absolute beast in solos for as long as he's competed in FoRtNiTe.
Oh yeah.
And right now showing what he can do here. Down to 19 health though. It looks like the end might be near.
If you look back at previous skirmish events, he was routinely taking home first place, second place, third place. Repeat.
Oh, there he goes.
Untamed, catch him on the outside, goes down, 70 players left. Couldn't quite squeak out the top 15 for placement points. If you remember, it's top 25 for 3, top 15 gets you another 2 at 5. Top 5 gets you 2 more to 7, and the Victory Royale is 10. Reminding everybody, if you're just tuning in, there's your scoring setup. Clicks finding another element. You have to remember, too, Clicks right now top of the board. Finds Surge Kurt on the outside, rotating forward with the Shadow Bombs. What a versatile item right now for movement. One of the best in the game. You're looking for a chance to stay safe. I say pick up a Shadow Bomb or 2 and make those rotations at the right time.
Yeah, and right now, Clicks. No!
Gets himself.
Boogie bombs himself with this one.
Not a huge deal if that player gets picked by somebody on the move.
Thankfully, no one else came down and got involved.
They're sitting in a bush, back in the baller. No chance there. Kind of just a fresh reset for everybody involved in that one. Clicks taking a shot from the back. 60 shield gone now. He's going to try and climb the hill. This could be big if he can hold on to this for the entire time while this storm's still circling. Bouncing off all these surfaces, lands all the way up top. He's in a box with another player. It's Nut. Goes down in the box. Blue walling off. Clicks now down to 10 shield. 10 players left. Building up. The assault for high ground, so important right now. One launch pad is heard. Clicks takes a chance to pop a mini. Keep building that tarp forward. May have to reconnect here in a second, depending on how much pressure he feels like he's going to get. Players dropping in. It's funny, even a 9 damage combat shotgun shot is enough to force a player to drop in there. Underkill goes down.
It's because you know there's more shots coming in.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wait, if he's already hitting me now, just wait until I'm lower like this. It could be even worse. Clicks, still with 100 builds, showing off why he is one of the most consistent solo players in the NA East region. The Boogie comes in, doesn't actually connect with anybody, but this is as textbook as it can get. You're just keeping the high ground, making sure that if you get dropped down, you won't take any fall damage. Let everyone else get scrappy and fight. You just get your placement points, get your last couple of limbs, and you're good. At this point, this is Clicks playing this like he's at the World Cup finals.
100%.
Just practicing. The more the merrier. Keeping the height, not doing anything crazy.
Plenty of build left. Still sitting on 60 plus. Let the other 2 fight it out.
They're
maybe
fighting.
Take a shot. Premium. The last one on the low ground. 1v1 Clicks. Just going to knock the floor out. Taking shots from above. Quick little corner edit and reset. Look at the speed of that. Look at the speed of that. He's double layering brick, puts the floor down, just the one surface, edits the corner, takes a shot, resets, and builds the pyramid.
That was...
Well, just let Premium tick out.
That was scary easy for Clicks. I mean, scary easy.
You want to know why he's the top, Jack? That's why he's the top.
That's it right there. I mean, we've seen other players in a position like that where they've let it get close. Clicks knew exactly how to play that through and through. Barely took a lick of damage and wins the game. Another Victory Royale there. Someone on your screen, you see TSM Vinny, a name that in previous skirmish times popped off. Has pretty much, for me at least, had a pretty quiet FoRtNiTe World Cup so far.
Gone quiet through the World Cup thus far. I'd love to see a big game from Vinny. His duo Zexro as well, another one that's been kind of low-key so far. A lot of players, though, rotating through here. We're at the 50-50 circle in 12 seconds. That means anybody left in Neo Tilted is going to have to make a move, and you've got people like Vinny boxed up, a good chance to take third-party shots. I am curious why he just took a great tack shot through a window at probably 100 meters. Not sure. not sure.
Which weapon you have right there.
don't think that was the desired play. No. A little bit of stumble.
Vinny trying to set up for this drop that's coming on in and decides to actually look up and begin to shoot it. Remember, the health of the drop actually depends on the mode you're in. So in solos, it's only got 250 HP. So that's not too bad of a thing to have to shoot on down. And, well, even if he doesn't get the crate,
feels like he got a crate.
Feels like he did. The legendary combat shotgun. What an upgrade there from the common tack.
Caught that player in the rotation in. Is actually still going to get the box. Looks like unchallenged. Big bucks, no whammies.
My
Finds
goodness.
A legendary AR, a big upgrade across the board there. And he's got a full shield in the box as well. Got to hold on to the minis and the slurp. Probably the best call right now since it's most likely only one full. See here in a second, quick little reset on the wall. He's looking for anybody that might be peeking, anybody that might be making a move, chances to take a shot, and he does have a backup in terms of shield in there. Cowboy, the top right corner of your screen as well. Vinny, the stinks, still getting ticks, sees the player potentially rotating out. Can he track that? Doesn't
he's just,
quite see it.
He's just getting rid of him.
He's chucking them away.
He's throwing them away so he can pick back up either the minis or the mini or the full.
Yep.
And looks like will decide to go for 5 minis in the slurp, which I think is the right play.
Yep.
Makes sense there. Get some damage down. If there's somehow a storm surge that comes in, that might be the difference between being above or below. I like the play. Say I like the play.
If it's going to happen for Storm Surge, it'll be at the end of this circle.
Mm-hmm.
You actually see that this is interesting because the way that we're watching these games, that marker right there, whichever person we pulled this from, that's them marking the edge of the next circle.
Yes.
That's actually a pretty interesting tip for anybody that's watching from home if you're trying to elevate your play. A lot of positioning knowledge will come from knowing when or when not you need to continue rotating in.
Yeah.
If you use the mini map to mark, just put the little marker down, the closest portion of the next safe zone, you know when you've made it in without having to check the mini map to see if you're past it or not. It's very, very, very important to know when you're safe and when you aren't.
Absolutely, in duos especially. Your duo's still alive, you're dead. You got to do things like that. Help give them the best chance possible. Nico hits the ceiling above and actually drops a player right into his box. So basically gets a free elimination right there as the player was not expecting it. And with that, we'll actually move into our top 25. 3 more placement points earned. Shadow Bomb being used, and the quick movement up this slight little hill begins. As you see 72 hours on your screen, alive right now inside of a baller. He was in our top 10 earlier on. Now no longer the case the last time we got a leaderboards update.
Blue T in here as well. We're going to jump in with Nico live. 4 eliminations, 137 builds, a really good loadout, and Loom not doing too well on the bottom there. There was an RPG, doesn't opt to pick it up. Could have potentially swapped out the AR or the TAC AR for that. Doesn't do so though, no big deal. 19 points now, catches a player inside the same box, maybe one box over at this point with rotation. Moving forward, no time to waste here. You don't want to be stuck at the edge of the safe zone as a baller actually swings through and opens everything up. Nico forced to rebox very quickly, burning through the materials, down to 32 metal. Keo from Cloud9, the very bottom of your screen.
Look at 72 hours on height right
Liquid
now.
72 hours, top of the screen there. Cole as well. Blue T, Jojo.
Cole's breaking him out. Cole's doing everything he can to break him out. And 72 hours having to deal with that. He just wants to begin to fire down on everyone, but can't get a chance right now. Here's Kaizui. Again, one of the younger players on 100 Thieves. 78 total health, but a ton of ammo, so get some health back and maybe some mats. He's definitely can spray for days.
Kaizui, player rotating behind through the storm for just a second. One drops in, the heavy snipe does apply pressure. Kaizui goes down, it's Blue T from above. Oh my gosh, it looks like they traded inside the box, the trap and the shot. A quick swap there, both players going down at the same time. Meanwhile, all the way in the ultimate high ground for just a second there, we're in the top 15, but 72 hours from Team Liquid still in it. Blasian goes down. Jojo still in this as well, 10-bit just inside with a barely alive baller as Nico, the forefront of the storm. He's got a baller in the box immediately next to. Wouldn't be surprised if there was pressure.
Yeah, I can tell. Whoa, all pulled into the rift, 3 of them.
3 players all the way in the sky, 9 remaining.
And they'll gladly float this one out. Look at all the destruction going on down low.
Just wait it out.
There goes 72 hours. Did get dropped on down.
It's like he went out 8th. Doesn't quite get the 7 points for a top 5. Shatang gonna drop past Deity with the ultimate high ground. Keo in the mid tarp. Pyrovoil flying all the way past. Got players still stuck in the bottom. Jojo, the ultimate low ground. Shatang finds Keo inside a box. Nico and Deity fighting for the ultimate high ground. Ranch forced down a little bit too. We're in the top 5. Placement points going out for everybody. 7 now.
Nico's so high up there right now.
In the sky.
The question is Nico have anything to wind up dropping down with? From our perspective, from what we can tell with Spectator, no, but
that middle
with it going up the hill,
something.
Should now be all right. But look at how weak all these players are down low. The storm doing so much damage, and Nico more than happy to just keep building on up, keep playing this distance. Shatang gets 2, so winds up getting a lot of HP, but spraying, and it's all for naught. Nico just sits up there and basically idly wins that game. Pretty easy. When you got the high ground like that, building in brick, there's no chance of him getting shot down at all. And what I'm loving to see here, Ben, is this players doing a good job of calculating when they're on height, if they need to challenge or not. That's like 2 or 3 games in a row now where the person on height has just sat up there, let the storm do its job, as long as you tag them once.
In the last 60 seconds, crazy.
Get a little tag on them, and then let the ultimate enemy, the zone, do its job for you. 1 hour and 15 minutes left in the queues until NA East solo qualifiers for the FoRtNiTe World Cup Finals are over.
Are you trying to get your 10 matches in? Now's the time to do it. 44 players left. Speaking of those 10 matches in this match, attack AR, the blue combat shotgun, minis, shadow bombs, sitting on the edge of the zone. John, no need to apply too much pressure, doesn't have to move, just kind of wait it out. Take third-party shots, get those quick window edit resets and hold this one watching through on that ramp using the little holes in the brick structure underneath of his opponent. Gonna start making a move here. Goes for the window replace. It's the wall replace. It's not even challenged. Here we go. This player might not have audio. Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah, that's just, again, when you're not just like in a 1-by-1, when there's more behind you, sometimes it catch you off guard. As that's what happens right there. FaZe Dubs actually in this lobby, and
Didn't you say?
Said FaZe
you
Dubs
go on records as saying FaZe Dubs is the best solo player in the world
as of right now.
Interesting.
With the technically with the placings we've got, there has been no person more consistent currently. What's he had, like first, third, sixth, second, or something?
Nope, no person more consistent. Okay, I have to ask. Have you not been watching Tim's stream? Consistently fall damage.
That is true. Consistently bad.
We're talking about consistency,
yeah.
Jack. Really, you're gonna?
Yep.
Sorry, Tim. I'm trying to defend you here, bud.
It's all right. I'm sure he's really upset right now with his hand tats.
Listen, he's tough and you can't handle it.
I can't wait to see Tim this week. I'm going to give him a big hug.
Ray in the feed picking up an Elam. Flo taking one out as well in the top 35. Zycoma and Baldy right next to each other here. A little back and forth. You see them both actually facing each other. And just quick edit resets for transparency on the walls.
They're like, you good? You good?
You gonna move?
You good?
Is it, you gonna make a move? I'm just gonna wait. You gonna move? I'm not going yet. You going?
It's the game of chicken right now as Baldy keeps editing, looking for any opportunity to rain down fire from up above.
Who gives into the pressure first, right? Puts himself out in the open.
Wondering if the rift gets used here or Baldy just says.
He's high enough up, he doesn't necessarily have to, but I'm going to say because he's waiting here, I think you might be right. He's just looking back and taking shots, thinking, I'm just going to use the rift when it's time. There we go. There's a reason for it, too. One Elim looking for the second. Baldy, the storm right there, the swap, and falling down. I believe I heard it.
He rifted. He did. Here's Dubs. It doesn't get much easier than that. The player with 17 HP gets cut down, and Dubs will go follow this up right away. Look for any materials possible. This baller trying to snake them all.
Just a little bit.
There you go. Now Dubs has made it on it and says, no. This is mine. This is mine. And whoa, 3 big shields, 6 minis. Oh gosh.
That's a yikes.
Okay, Dubs. Not a fun time right now. Remember, when you're in the shadow form, you cannot edit, you cannot make any plays like that. So Dubs gets trapped in there and takes 80 storm damage because of it.
Very fast edits on the tunnel there, moving forward. Basically not letting go of the sprint the entire time. Look at these, walling and editing a corner out every single layer, burning through materials very quickly, but
dude,
a very stable base to make a move.
It just set in how insane the Battle of Regions is going to be at the FoRtNiTe World Cup. Like Mongrel, Mr. Savage M are going to be repping EU that I know all of Europe's going to get behind. You've got the likes of Dubs, Tfue representing NA. I mean, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous.
The best players from every region.
Yeah.
Making their way to one stage. I'm gonna have heart palpitations, Jack.
Bro, it's gonna be one of the most insane events of all time. There's just no doubt in my mind about that. Des loves Shane being pressured now by Dubs. Dubs did get a solid shot down range. Unfortunately, shotgun not reloaded, so we'll have to take a moment there to let that weapon reset. As now the zone going back the way it just came, so.
Less than 50 builds now. Dubs, 70 HP, has a chance, just kidding, 100 HP. A little misspeak there, 11 players left. Freak Twinkie goes down, shots from above, another player. Title shot found outside of a window, looking through for a peek, potentially, doesn't quite get it. Shots in the back instead, a big trade out there. The legendary combat shotgun.
Oh, this movement is just dirty.
Looking for the shot, doesn't quite go for it. No chance just yet. Mustache from Tempo. In the feed, picking up another Elam. We're in the top 8 now. Dubs, quick edit. Takes out the top half, looking for shots through. A reset and rotation. Dubs, so fast. So blindingly fast.
Yep.
You want to try and keep up with anybody.
Stinks from height again.
This is literally like you're setting the tempo right here.
Mm-hmm. should have enough time to pop this big shield. Thankfully, the stink grenade bombardment has stopped. Remember, top 5 is the last placement points outside of winning the game, and just like that, Dubs has made it on into the top 5. Now up to 28 points. Still building out. Turret comes into play for that extra health on the build so it doesn't get shot down. And oh no, the build he was going to land on gets shot out. Trying to put pressure on, gets one. How about a second? Not going to happen. Baldy wins that fight. The challenge comes in from the high ground. Baldy so weak. How will he make this pop? How will he make this happen? Baldy spraying frantically, trying to get this player to fall on down. 4 HP. There's no way, right? I mean, there's no way, right?
There's always a way, Jack. Don't count him out just yet.
Baldy, one tick of the storm ends this game. The player was building with metal, and
there it is.
That's it right there.
John holds the high ground, the last second victory royale. He was one of the first players we jumped on board with in this game.
Lock it up.
Locking it up.
Yeah.
Sitting on the top of the hill and ends up paying off big.
Oh, yeah.